Have you ever felt attacked, as if the energies around you were working against you? Perhaps in difficult times, you sense that negativity from others or challenging situations affected you more deeply than you'd like. What you might not realize is that there's a way to counter this energy, even to return it, but not in the way you might expect. Padre Pio, with his profound connection to the divine, taught that evil holds power over us only if we allow it. And believe it or not, there is a powerful spiritual practice, a deep teaching, that enables you to respond to negativity with wisdom and protection. Are you ready to learn how? That persistent feeling of being surrounded by negativity, whether it's a subtle glance or an overtly hostile situation, is not just a perception but a spiritual reality that can impact us. The good news is that by understanding this dynamic, we can seek divine protection, something Padre Pio teaches with great depth. He shows us how to confront these forces through prayer and faith, two essential pillars for dispelling evil and restoring inner peace. Padre Pio firmly believed that prayer was the greatest defense against negativity. He taught that connecting with God through the words of Jesus Christ dispels harmful energies. Christianity assures us that heartfelt prayer has the power to transform any situation. Devotional practice becomes one of the most powerful forms of protection, not because of its complexity, but because of the intimate relationship it fosters with God. Simply praying with faith builds a shield against the negative forces that surround us. In moments of adversity, many forget the spiritual weapon available to them at any time: prayer. Through studying Scripture and cultivating spiritual strength, any Christian can find the protection they need. The challenge lies in recognizing the negativity around us and responding wisely. Spirituality becomes our shield, and Padre Pio's teachings offer invaluable lessons for fortifying ourselves. Are you using your faith and prayer as a defense against negativity? Padre Pio is a remarkable example of how prayer can serve as a powerful weapon against negative forces. His life was filled with spiritual, physical, and emotional trials, yet he faced them with unwavering faith in Jesus Christ and a fervent devotion to the Church. During the darkest moments, he immersed himself in prayer, convinced that communication with God could transform any situation. For him, prayer wasn't just a religious ritual but a true spiritual defense against evil. Padre Pio encouraged prayer not just as a means of protection but as a way to fortify the soul against temptations and spiritual attacks. Faith, in his view, was not a mere feeling but a steadfast attitude in the face of adversity. He believed that sincere prayer could neutralize even the most intense attacks of the enemy. His many miracles and healings are clear evidence of how prayer, coupled with deep trust in God, can transform lives and protect one's spirit. His example challenges us to see prayer as an act of spiritual resistance. He used prayer not only as a shield but as a way to elevate his soul, staying aligned with the teachings of the gospel. And just as he did, we too can adopt these practices in our daily lives. True strength lies not in the absence of challenges but in the ability to overcome them through faith and prayer. Are you ready to follow Padre Pio's example and use prayer as your spiritual shield against evil? Padre Pio's spiritual practice was not complex but profoundly simple and powerful. For him, creating the right environment for prayer was the starting point. He always withdrew to a quiet place, free from the distractions of the world. Establishing an atmosphere of peace is the first step toward connecting with the divine. By doing so, we allow God's energy to fill us, creating a safe space for prayer. In a calm environment, whether it's your own room or a place of worship, you can find true spiritual peace. Prayer itself plays a vital role in this process. Padre Pio was devoted to powerful prayers like the Our Father, Hail Mary, and Glory Be. Each of these prayers holds unique power to connect us directly to God, bringing peace and protection. Begin your ritual with these prayers, reciting them with faith and sincerity, and entrust your worries to God. In the silence of your heart, visualize divine protection enveloping you, a light that repels any negative energy. Conclude with gratitude, thanking God for His protection and for strengthening your faith. The simplicity of this ritual doesn't make it superficial. On the contrary, it's deeply transformative. The key lies in the sincerity of your prayer and your total trust in God to provide protection. By adopting this ritual, you align yourself with God's power, and like Padre Pio, you can experience the peace that comes from unshakable faith. What matters is your commitment to seeking a genuine spiritual connection, far beyond the mechanical repetition of words. Are you ready to begin your own spiritual protection ritual? The miracles of Padre Pio are known around the world and continue to inspire Christians of all ages. He experienced situations where prayer had a truly transformative power, bringing healing and protection to those who approached him with faith. One of the most fascinating aspects of his life was his ability to bilocate, being in two places at once. This was not just a sign of his spiritual gift, but a clear demonstration of how sincere prayer can move mountains and alter natural laws. These miracles weren't just supernatural manifestations, but profound signs that faith can touch the divine in a tangible way. Padre Pio also believed that prayer was the key to unlocking miracles in our lives. There are countless testimonies of people who received physical and spiritual healing after seeking his intercession. However, for him, the true miracle was the internal transformation of people. By praying sincerely, many experienced a radical change in their lives, overcoming addictions, fears, and traumas. This power of transformation is not reserved for those physically close to Padre Pio, but is available to all who surrender to prayer with faith, especially in moments of greatest need. Forgiveness was another essential pillar of Padre Pio's spirituality. He taught that prayer not only drives away negative energies but also allows the power of forgiveness to heal and liberate. He believed that by forgiving, we not only protect our souls from evil influences but also open the way for healings and miracles. This principle applies to our daily lives. By letting go of bitterness and anger, we create a purer and more protected spiritual environment, which further strengthens our faith. What do you need to forgive today in order to make space for God's miracles in your life? Sometimes, the negative energies around us can be subtle, entering our lives without us realizing. But how can we recognize when something is spiritually affecting us? Padre Pio teaches us the importance of daily self-reflection. He believed that Christians should always evaluate the state of their soul and the environment around them. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect. Have you experienced peace, or has something constantly disturbed your tranquility? If negativity is present, prayer can be a way to cleanse and restore peace. This process of reflection is vital, as by identifying the source of evil, we can take effective action to protect ourselves. Introspection also involves observing how we react to situations. When faced with difficulties, our reactions often reflect the state of our soul. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in these moments. When Padre Pio faced criticism and attacks, he responded with calm and prayer, transforming adversity into spiritual growth. He challenges us to examine our own reactions, to ask ourselves whether we're acting with a heart full of love and faith, or if we're feeding negative emotions that attract more harm. As we seek spiritual protection, we're also invited to purify our own attitudes. Strengthening our faith is essential, but we must also recognize the impact of our emotions and thoughts. Sometimes, we may be the source of the negative energy in our own lives. Deep reflection on what we are cultivating inside, anger, resentment, or fear, can be a vital step toward healing. True spiritual protection begins when we can, with faith, confront and change these negative aspects. When you engage in this self-reflection, you strengthen your ability to act as Padre Pio did, allowing your spirituality to become an ever-stronger tool of protection. Are you ready for this daily reflection? Now that you understand the powerful practice of prayer and Padre Pio's teachings, it's time to take the next step. It's not enough to simply understand the theory. You need to apply these teachings in your daily life. Prayer should be a constant practice, not something done only in moments of distress. Transforming your spiritual life means making the daily decision to connect with God, to seek His guidance, and to strengthen your faith through prayer and meditation. Start with a simple protection ritual, make it a routine, and watch how it impacts your life. The power of transformation is in your hands. By applying these teachings, you will not only protect your soul, but also help others do the same. When you share what you've learned, you pass on to others the hope that only faith can offer. Helping others also creates a circle of protection around you. Faith communities are formed for this purpose, and by joining prayer groups or studying the Bible with other Christians, you strengthen your spirituality and theirs. Sharing testimonies of faith and stories of miracles is a way to multiply the strength of the gospel and the divine light. The decision is now yours. Put into practice what you've learned. Be like Padre Pio, who dedicated his life to prayer and service to God, and make it your daily mission. By doing this, you will be transformed and help transform the lives of those around you. Start now. What are you waiting for to take that first step toward change and spiritual protection? Padre Pio understood forgiveness as one of the greatest expressions of Christian love. For him, forgiving wasn't just an act of kindness, but a process of spiritual liberation. When we forgive, we're not doing a favor for others, but freeing ourselves from a burden that prevents us from living fully. Christian faith teaches us that forgiveness is essential for inner peace and to keep our spirituality in tune with God. Padre Pio believed that the prayer of forgiveness had the power to heal the soul, driving away negative energies and restoring divine harmony. In many situations, forgiveness is not easy, but its practice brings immense fruits. When he faced persecution or unjust accusations, Padre Pio never responded with hatred or resentment. He used prayer to cleanse his heart and maintain peace. This is a powerful lesson. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting the wrong, but recognizing that it shouldn't have power over our lives. He always encouraged his followers to turn to prayer in difficult situations to heal their wounds and overcome grudges. By doing so, they transformed a negative situation into an opportunity for spiritual growth. For Padre Pio, forgiveness was also tied to healing. Many people who asked for his intercession for physical or personal problems, after going through the process of forgiveness, felt healed in both body and spirit. Forgiveness allows us to cleanse our souls and open the way for divine grace. By forgiving, we create an environment of healing, where God's love can flow. How can you apply forgiveness in your life to strengthen your faith and protect your soul from negative influences? The Rosary was always one of the most powerful tools in Padre Pio's spiritual journey. He deeply believed in the power of this prayer, not just as a means of meditation, but also as a shield against the forces of evil. By praying the Rosary, Padre Pio not only connected with the Virgin Mary but also invoked her intercession to protect his soul from negative influences. The Rosary is a prayer that tunes us into God's love and mercy, creating a spiritual barrier that prevents evil energies from reaching us. He always said that by praying the Rosary, our spiritual protection was guaranteed. By incorporating the Rosary into a protection ritual, we can strengthen our spirituality and increase our connection with the Mother of Jesus Christ. The repetition of the Rosary prayers helps center our thoughts on God, driving away distractions and negativity. Each Hail Mary is an invocation of peace and protection, and each mystery of the Rosary reminds us of the life, death, and resurrection of Christ, bringing us closer to His grace. When you dedicate yourself to the Rosary with faith, you are essentially creating a spiritual force field around you. This doesn't just ward off evil, it strengthens your soul, preparing it to face the daily challenges. Padre Pio always emphasized that the Rosary was not a long or difficult prayer, but a simple and powerful way to connect with the divine. If you haven't incorporated the Rosary into your life yet, start with the basics. Pray 1 decade at a time, every day, and feel how your spiritual protection strengthens. Over time, you'll see how this devotional practice can transform your life, providing a sense of peace and spiritual security. Are you ready to adopt the Rosary as part of your daily protection ritual? Padre Pio's spirituality was deeply personal, but also manifested in his strong connection with the faith community. He knew that, to face adversities and negative energies, the union between Christians is essential. Participating in a prayer group or spiritual community creates a network of support that strengthens each individual's faith. We are not alone in our spiritual struggles. By sharing faith experiences, testimonies of miracles, and prayers with each other, we create a protected environment where love and solidarity surround us. The Christian community, therefore, is an extension of the Church, offering the support needed to keep us firm on the path of spirituality. When Padre Pio was facing trials, he relied on communal prayer. The strength of many united in prayer has an immense power to dispel negative energies and transform the situation. Christianity teaches us that the unity of brethren is essential to strengthen collective faith. If you've ever been in a worship service or prayer meeting, you know how the atmosphere can change. When voices unite in praise and worship, something divine happens. The energy of everyone together in faith creates an environment of healing and protection. Never underestimate the power of praying together. You are creating a spiritual fortress where evil cannot enter. Spiritual communities also provide a safe space to grow in faith and learn from the experiences of others. By participating in prayer groups or Bible studies, you gain tools to better deal with difficulties and grow spiritually. Padre Pio knew that being in communion with other Christians is a way to protect the soul and strengthen the journey of faith. How about seeking a prayer group or even starting one in your own home? Sharing your spiritual journey with others could be the key to overcoming the negativities trying to destabilize you. Padre Pio didn't just practice virtues during moments of prayer, he lived them in his daily life, and that's what makes him a model to follow. Virtues like patience, humility, and charity were fundamental characteristics of his life. He teaches us that we shouldn't seek to be virtuous only in moments of great spirituality, but also in our daily dealings with others. Patience, for example, was something Padre Pio cultivated in challenging situations. When faced with criticism or difficulties, he responded with calmness and trust in God. His attitude of patience teaches us not to react impulsively but to wait for God's timing. Humility was another virtue that was present in every aspect of Padre Pio's life. He always emphasized that our relationship with God should be rooted in humility, recognizing our limitations and trusting in His greatness. In a world where pride and vanity are so common, humility helps us maintain spiritual and emotional balance. Padre Pio lived this virtue by always putting himself at God's service, without seeking recognition or honor for himself. In his example, we see that true greatness lies in the ability to serve others without expecting anything in return. Additionally, charity, or love for others, was the foundation of Padre Pio's life. He dedicated his life to helping others, especially those who needed comfort and support the most. He teaches us that by practicing charity, our faith grows stronger and our spirituality becomes more tangible. Charity isn't just about giving material things, it's also about forgiving, welcoming, and helping sincerely. In our daily lives, we can incorporate these virtues by responding with patience in the face of challenges, acting with humility in our successes, and practicing charity through simple and genuine acts of kindness. What actions can you take today to live these virtues in your own life? The world we live in is filled with energies that can influence our spiritual peace. But how do we identify negative influences before they affect us deeply? Padre Pio teaches us that we must be aware of our surroundings, the environments, and the people with whom we interact. He believed that evil influences don't only manifest through grand events but also through small, everyday situations, cruel words, negative thoughts, and environments of disharmony. The key is to observe how we feel after interacting with certain people or being in certain places. If peace is suddenly taken from us, it's a clear sign that something isn't right. A practical way to deal with negative influences is by setting healthy boundaries. It's not about pushing people or challenging situations away, but protecting our spirituality by not allowing negative energies to affect us. Padre Pio, in his most difficult moments, knew that distancing himself from environments of negativity was essential to maintain his inner peace. That's why he would retreat to pray for protection. If you feel drained or disturbed, consider the possibility that the energy around you is influencing your spiritual state. Prayer is an excellent tool for restoring balance and driving away those influences. Moreover, it's important to cultivate a positive mindset and a practice of discernment. When you notice that something or someone is harming your peace, practice a prayer of protection. Visualize God's light surrounding you and pushing away all negative energy. When we take an active stance in spiritual protection, we follow Padre Pio's teachings and strengthen ourselves against the influences of evil. The question remains, are you paying attention to the energies around you and taking the necessary steps to preserve your spiritual peace?